Look, has he done everything he can to exaggerate contact?
Well, I mean, we see one a few weeks ago, didn't we, with Ekitike and Romero, and it was something similar, but Ekitike did jump, but nonetheless, he's got his hands in his back, and I've been in that situation before when you're underneath the ball, you feel contact, and you just think, I'm not going to get the ball, so I have to try and get something. And I feel like the one with Gabriel, I feel that that's happened. He hasn't shoved him; he's felt arms in his back. With this one, I mean, I think they both should be given as goals, and that's my consistent take on it. I think sometimes when you stop things and slow things down and you referee the game, you can see hands in someone's back, but it doesn't mean you've been shoved that much to put you off balance where you've gone forward.
I think the difference in this, though, Jay, is Ekitike is up early. He's up early.
As I said, it's slightly
he's
different.
above him, so I get what you're saying, but it is slightly different. I think that one, you'd be very harshly done if disallowed.
And as well, like when you're in the box like that, and there's lots of people around, people have to understand that football players are not going to stand with their hands at their sides, right? You're going to be in this kind of position because you're trying to get a little bit of separation to jump and move. And I think that's why sometimes you see your hands in someone's back.
Balance
as well, yeah.
Okay, right. To an incredible finish at the City Ground. Liverpool picked up a massive 3 points in their battle to finish in the Champions League places. Alexis McAllister was denied a late winner as the handball law came into play again before the tightest of offside calls meant he could celebrate victory in the 7th minute of time added on. Look, Dermot, amazing drama, but it has to be said the law was correctly applied.
It was, and you feel for anybody in this situation because he's just gone to block the ball, it strikes his elbow. But it went in, I saw one replay, I went, oh, this is going to be disallowed. On the replay, I saw immediately it struck his elbow and said, there's no doubt it's going to be disallowed because the minute the VAR sees that, it's going to be handball. He's got the ball went in. He's so unlucky, but it will be the same with any player. It's not just McAllister. Any player that does that, it's always going to be disallowed.
I saw one run player and I thought of you. I don't want to do that on my Sundays.
Look, is that the kind of goal you would want to see ruled out?
I mean, listen, as soon as you see it hit his elbow, you know that it's not going to be given. And that, the fact that he's hit his elbow, it negates all other rules, doesn't it? So, it's just unfortunate that that's happened. But that is the rules. And thankfully, went and scored, was it a few minutes later, which was a perfectly...
Same play.
A good finish, but I mean, even that there was some question in that one as well, I will say. But we're going to speak about that now, I think, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because look, before we used to talk about deliberate handball and accidental handball. This is quite clearly black and white. Does it need to be changed then?
Well, I think it was brought in, Hayley, because a goal was scored at Burnley by the Arsenal centre half, wasn't it? And it went in off his arm, and everybody said this isn't right. It can't happen. So I think people accept that if it hits your arm or your hand and it goes in the net, they'll be just.
I agree with that. It's black and white, that rule, isn't it? So everyone knows that there's no debates from when it hits your arm and goes straight in the net.
It's also acceptable, isn't it?
Yeah,
because
100%.
We don't want to see goals scored with a hand.
Okay, right. Look, McAllister had initially put Liverpool ahead. This was in the 89th minute. Now we understand 5 minutes of time added on was awarded during the celebrations. And as VAR made those checks. Now, the decision to disallow McAllister's goal took around 2.5 minutes. So no issue with Liverpool's winner that came in the 7th minute of time added on, Dermot.
I'm glad you pointed that out because I was at pains to explain this to somebody last night who was raging about when it happened. And I said, but McAllister's first goal that was disallowed, it took all that. That's where the time came from. And they're like, yeah, but that doesn't matter. The ball's dead. I'm like, wow. But it was a justifiable extension to the added time.
I mean, do you know what as well? When you talk about this time, Hayley, me and Dermot spoke off air. I'm not understanding why we can't have something like the NBA clock, where every time the ball has gone out of play, it's just stopped and then started as soon as it comes back into play. I think that would just clear everything up. But with that McAllister goal there, I was actually kind of referring to the Ekitike there. It looked to me like he was in an offside position, and I felt at the time that because the ball was going in that direction, he was interfering with play with the defenders, because obviously defenders are looking around them to see who's around them, to see where the ball's going. If you have a striker that's around you, even though he's standing offside, that technically is interfering with play, because you don't know if he's offside or not. You just have to react to where the ball is going. So even in that goal there is a question that he could be interfering with play.
Interfering with an opponent, yeah, but we had this at West Ham in the midweek fixtures, didn't we, a couple of weeks ago. It's cleared him by so much that he doesn't impact. It's complex, and that's why I think the assistants and the referees, when they pull their resources about offside, as we say, I think they do a great job, because it isn't easy. It's the most technical law of all, isn't it, offside?
I mean, from a defender's point of view, though, like in that situation there, when you got, I think there was like 3 players at the back post. There was only 2 defenders. So like you look at that and you can understand why the defensive team would feel aggrieved to that, because they're saying, well, that is interfering with play, because there's a player around me. I don't know if he's offside. I can just see where the ball's coming from and know that player's there. I'm not looking across the line because everything's happening so fast. So from that point of view, you could understand why they're saying there is interference in the way they're defending. And obviously, McAllister scored at the end, but I can understand that part.
I actually think it's better now that, you know, if you think back to when I refereed, offside was offside. Players like that were always given offside. There was goals disallowed, and people didn't want it. People said, well, are they really impacted? I think it's a lot better. We see more goals, we see more excitement. And do defenders really get that bothered about it? I don't think so. If you look at that, Forest just reset for the game, didn't they? They just went on. So
I mean, the manager wasn't. He was fuming.
Yeah, but he was fuming. He was fuming. They lost the goal at such a late time.
Okay.
The disallowed goal and the goal Liverpool scored. And I just want to look at the role the centre-backs played in it, who were probably 2 of the players who probably you wouldn't be too critical of, certainly in that first half. But, I mean, as you can imagine, I'm watching the game, and I was a bit frustrated with Virgil van Dijk here. So this was late in the game, and he just positions himself right next to the 2 centre-backs of Nottingham Forest. And look, Murillo links him, Milenkovic is behind him, and he can't actually move. So when the ball comes in, your best header of the ball can't get on the ball, because he's almost marked himself standing in the centre of the box. And then comes out to Joe Gomez. So Bosley again, the clip we'll get to shortly, for the winning goal. Allows Gomez to put it in, but it's poor. But look at Canate here. He does absolutely fantastic here, keeps it alive. And Rio Engamoa here now does something I haven't seen a Liverpool wide player do all season. Go out as fullback, commit him, and put real quality into the box. And Ekitike has to score. And then Liverpool think they have scored, but Ola Reina is a very, very lucky man.
It's
for 2 reasons. Yeah,
bizarre sequence
for 2 reasons why. It comes out here wide. And just keep an eye on, we've mentioned Rio, but just keep an eye on the back post. We're just running on it slowly now till we get Ekitike into shot. So Rio goes past his man, and what you've got here at the back post is Hugo Ekitike with 2 defenders at the back post, Milenkovic and Ola Reina at the back. It's criminal. He doesn't see him. A fullback always has to check his shoulder, but he must be able to hear him. He's breathing and running, making a run in behind him. And they just look in complete shock when they see that. Ekitike is in a brilliant position, misses it, but he gets away with it again, Ola Reina, because he should head that away. He's very lucky to think you've got that much time in the box to now control this and wait for it to come down. That has to be headed away there, so he's very, very fortunate. But the goal from McAllister was rightly disallowed, because as you can see there, clearly it hits him right on the elbow.
And as he told us after the game, he felt there was still time for him and his team to get another chance.
Well, maybe that was on the back of that, a couple of years ago, Liverpool scored a late winner in similar circumstances, again, with, I think, Darwin Núñez. But I mentioned the centre-backs again. I want to go to Virgil van Dijk. So rightly now he's putting himself in a position for the long throw, and what he's done is he's split the 2 centre-backs, because Milenkovic is there now and Murillo's now marking him. So Joe Gomez...
Why is he taking it from there?
Well, I think he's about to have a run-up, and he's about to take his run-up for the long throw, Joe Gomez, but he sees Szoboszlai's free. But it's better from Virgil van Dijk. He doesn't mark himself. But now this ball comes to Szoboszlai. And the thing I love about this now is the actual football arrogance of it. But we'll come back to that when we look at it from another clip, another angle, I should say. But this, the quality is absolutely fantastic. And I think, again, Virgil van Dijk does brilliantly because he keeps that ball alive. I don't think Virgil van Dijk's trying to score. But when I talk about football arrogance with Szoboszlai, that ball comes to him now. It's easy to do that. And maybe if he loses the ball there, I'm criticising him. It's easy to go there. And maybe they are the right passes. I think last season or the year before, Szoboszlai makes those passes. I think now he's got the arrogance of, I'm the best player in this team. I'm one of the best players in the Premier League and European football, and I'm going to make something happen here. So he decides to almost take on his man where he's got easy passes, but again, that comes from confidence, arrogance. Not on the left foot, just gets half a yard, and then he puts it in. And then for me, Virgil van Dijk at that back post now, I think he's just trying to keep that alive and keep it in an area. And credit to McAllister. Listen, he had a really poor game, McAllister, along with a lot of Liverpool players in the game. But he gets the winning goal. But look at this from Szoboszlai, brilliant. He's just waiting for that moment to get that half a yard, and he's got it now. But can he deliver? Yes, he can. Brilliant from Van Dijk. And credit to McAllister. And what I would say as well is credit to the manager. And I'll tell you another reason why. Again, this is us looking at Virgil van Dijk.
Got a good chunk of his shirt there, as well.
And what he's definitely guiding that header back across goal. Some people would try and score from it. He would never be able to score from it because he wouldn't be able to generate the power. The reason I'm talking about McAllister is, listen, we're going to look at the offside here.
Yeah, it was questioned at the time, and remember that the previous goal, McAllister goal, was ruled out, and there was this very interesting delay again in the stadium and in the studio here with one or two excitable people watching, thinking, is this one going to get chalked off? And you can see by about that much. Virgil van Dijk, who made that header, is onside.
Well, I was very critical with VAR for the first one, but as I said, I'm a big VAR advocate after that one. But the interesting thing with McAllister, I go back to what the manager did. He brought Curtis Jones in late, and it kind of been easy for him. He had a poor first half, Curtis Jones. He made that change with Curtis Jones going to right back, Dominic Szoboszlai coming into midfield, but he didn't change positions. What happened was Curtis Jones was almost playing the virtual. Then, when he's made the change, Szoboszlai went into the McAllister, and McAllister went higher up the pitch. And listen, they are set pieces, if you like, where the disallowed goal and the goal have come from. But the fact that he was maybe in more advanced role, maybe a little bit credit to the manager, who I think made great substitutions.
Burnley battled to a point at Stamford Bridge against Chelsea, who themselves finished the game with 10 players. So Dermot, look, Wesley Fofana sent off for 2 yellow cards. We'll show you the tackle that led to his dismissal. Did it meet the threshold of a yellow card for you?
I think for the referee, he sees him stretch Haley, and I think he thinks it's reckless. I know he's got to stretch the ball, I know he's got to go for it. I think for the referee, he just thinks he stretches too far, catches him on top of the foot. Yellow cards him, unfortunately. He had a yellow card a few minutes earlier, so he gets dismissed.
Yeah, we spoke again off air about this one, Derm. I think these ones are harsh because, yes, he's lunged for the ball, but he has touched the ball. And then my question is, where's he meant to put his foot? His foot is not high, it's on the side of his foot. And I just feel like it's more of a foul than a yellow card, because if you're giving yellow cards for that, we're going to see second yellow cards a lot. I just don't think that is. I think Fofana's really unlucky there. He's stretched for the ball, but he's timed it right. He's touched the ball away, but he's put his foot down, and it's unfortunately landed on someone else's foot. I just don't see that as a yellow card. I think it's a foul if you're going to give anything, but it's definitely not a second yellow.
Look, Chelsea brought on Tosin to shore up the defence. Should we have seen red for denial of a goal-scoring opportunity? I'll come to you with this one, Dermot.
Gabriel revisited, isn't it? Same challenge. I think it's foul, but I don't think it's a red card. If you look, is he in possession of the ball? No. Is he likely to gain possession of the ball? Unlikely, because there's too much doubt it's going through to the keeper, but certainly not a red card.
Obviously, we've got alternate angles. We can play a few different angles and see it here. Is it more of a coming together rather than a foul?
Do you know with that one there, I mean, I see this before the show, I looked at this before the show, but looking at it now, to see when you see where that ball actually bounced, which was right next to Fleming, which was right next to Fleming, it makes me feel like if Tosin didn't go into him, maybe they could have controlled that. I know that he's not in possession of the ball when the challenges happen, so you're saying he's not in control of the ball.
No,
but I think if that doesn't happen, he probably could control it, no?
Maybe, but the first criteria, is he in possession of the ball?
Yeah.
No.
But if you're running onto something, you're never going to be in possession of it, are you? So
No.
So if you're running onto the ball and you're not in possession of it, but you probably would control it, is that taken into consideration?
You put many variables in, haven't you? And that's why it goes from obvious to possible. It's quite possibly he'll control that ball. Quite possibly he will go on and have a shot at goal.
Yeah.
Is it obvious? That's the thing. I think if you're going to send somebody off, you've got to be certain, haven't you? And in that case, is his first touch going to be heavy?
Yeah.
I just think that's the key for me, is you go from obvious to possible.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
You're saying there's so many variables there.
Absolutely.
That's what makes it possible.
Absolutely.
And not okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, and that you're going to send somebody off.
Yeah.
It's got to be right.
It's got to be right. Yeah.
And just finally, Robert Sanchez penalised for holding onto the ball for more than the 8 seconds allowed. We'll play out the incident for you because TV broadcast missed it playing in a replay. But once we come back to the main angle, you'll see the referee has issued a corner because of it. Dermot, I mean, good that referees are still keeping tabs on this.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to show you how much time he had, there wasn't a Burnley player in the penalty area, so he had no reason to hold on to that ball.
Yeah.
He couldn't turn around and say, well, somebody's blocked me off, I've got to use more time to get round them.
I think
nowhere near him.
I think the reason why is because they was winning at that point.
They might not have been winning if only this had come in.
No, I know. But I mean, I think it's good that they keep on top of the game. I mean, I hate it. When I was playing, I used to hate it when you're time wasting. Even when we was winning, I was like, let's time waste, but let's have the ball at our feet, keep the ball, and control the tempo of the game. I think that's why Man City are so good. When they're time wasting, they've actually got the ball. They're not just like hold on to it or running into corners. They do sometimes, but more often than not, they're killing the game with the tempo they play at.